making a video earlier about my dad and with Dennis working with us and stuff, and there was a few things that I was trying to say, but he gets into me, and that dude's just way too loud, which I'm pretty sure you can see it. But yeah, like the reason why I was saying that my dad raises like robots and stuff because like he was rough on us, man. I'm not saying it just to be saying it. Like that dude was rough on us. He played no games, and when I was about 8, he had a girlfriend at the time. Like when he left my mom and all that happened, he ended up getting with a woman that he was working with, and this is the only reason why I know about this because Dennis told me. Like Dennis told me this a month ago, 2 months ago. And he said that my dad met Ramona at work or whatever, and they was hanging out or whatever. And at this time, my dad was married with 2 kids. And I don't know, like for me being a kid and stuff, like I remember a lot that happened back then. Like I got memories of being in California and stuff with everything that was going on and stuff, and like I understand why my mom did what she did. When I turned 18, I started talking to her, but for the most part, getting back to one subject, my dad left my mom for Ramona, and he ended up having a kid with her, and his name was Craig, and he ended up having me, my brother, and Craig. And it was kind of weird because like I think we ended up moving like when my dad finally got his bag after the whole kidnapping thing. I was like 2, Roger was 3, and he ended up moving from that house to a house that's actually just around the corner from where I'm living at now. And they lived there for maybe a year or 2. And at that time, I think I was going out 6, 7, maybe 8. I think I was around 7 when I moved up with my grandma, and 8, about 7, 8. But they ended up getting in a big fight one night, and she ended up taking off or whatever, and took my little brother with her. And so, like when he left, he was only a couple years old, like a year or 2 old. Like he was a little guy, and I haven't seen him since. And it's like we try to stay in contact with him and get a hold of him and talk to him and stuff, but he thinks that I don't know what he thinks. I mean, he holds some serious regret, like resentment against my dad, which, you know, clear up to that point was a big turning curve for us. My buddy just pulled up, but yeah, my dad, after he left, him and Ramona split up or whatever, he got hurt at work just before this, and this was kind of like a big snowball effect that happened. And he worked for the city of Zanesville, and my dad, this dude held down 3 jobs. Like he didn't play, he worked, he was a worker, but like everything else, he worked to pay his bills, and you know there was nothing left over. And I think it really, like, just put him in this funk. But he, and then when she left, it was just another thing on top of it. See, because when he got hurt, he broke his back. And, because what happened was he was putting a trash can, like the big trash cans that you throw your trash away into parts. He was picking one of them up, putting it back in the dump truck. And the dude that was driving it was like, his eyeballs wasn't straight at all. Like he had some like really bad eyes, and they knew he wasn't allowed to drive, but he said, "Hey, jump in there and pull us up, just back us up a little bit." Well, dude ran my dad completely over, and when he did that, it broke my dad's back and hemmed him up real bad. Then they put him in they rushed him to the hospital, and they put him in this big rotisserie, and he sat in that thing for a couple of weeks just spinning, and it's just different, to see your dad in something like that, especially something like your hero, you know what I mean? But he ended up getting out of that, and he is still walking there. He was still able to walk. Like, it was a miracle he was still able to walk. We don't have anything else. But he ended up getting home right after this. And this, like I said, this is a snowball. This is how fast your life can turn to go down the wrong road. He got out of the hospital, and they kept giving him big bottles of painkillers, and you know as well as I do, that's one thing. But he used to smoke weed back in the day when he was younger and stuff, and he gave that up actually when he had my brother, and he was 21. He was about 21 when he had my brother. He was 20 when he had my brother, 21 when he had me, and he was, he's just trying. Good dude. Like, he had a lot of friends and stuff. Like, really good guy. And to see someone go from that to nothing, I'm talking like, he had to sit at home and just sit there. Wasn't allowed to work. Wasn't allowed to do nothing. His back was like, the doctors put him on disabled. They made him disabled. Because he couldn't pick up nothing. He couldn't turn around. Like, he had to, like, keep his back straight and everything for a long time. But still, everything healed up. And, which, like I said, it's a miracle he's even walking. Because if you've seen his x-rays, it was pretty bad. But they got him lined back up and stuff to where he could walk. Like, he had back problems ever since then. Like, he was in pain. He was. He ended up getting them painkillers, and then I would say 2 weeks into that, of him being home and him being on the news, he was starting to drink. And he never drinks. He never drank. And if you know anything about my family, I come from a long line of alcoholics, drug addicts, thieves. I mean, you name it, they do it, and they laugh about it. It's a joke. It's a joke to them. But like I said, it's a lifestyle. Now, my grandma, on the other hand, didn't play them games. She was a straight shooter. My grandpa passed away when I was younger. Like, I wasn't even born yet, I don't think. Or I was, like, she said I was either just born or just before I was born, before he passed away. So I never got to meet him. His name is George, and he was a full-blown alcoholic. He worked on cars, like I was saying before, and he was always out there beating on cars for hours to make a paycheck. He had 11 kids, 6 boys, 4 girls. That's what they had. And most of my aunts and uncles are dead. It's weird because once they hit their 50s, like my grandpa was 55 when he passed away, and all my aunts and uncles in their 50s. I think one uncle made it to 60. He was 62, and he died from a brain aneurysm just a few years back. And yeah, it's weird how your family can, like, get to a certain age and just top off. But life's a party until then, you know what I mean? At least in their eyes. But I grew up with all my cousins and stuff because my dad was always at my grandma's house working out. The garage is out back of her house, and it was originally where my grandpa worked at every day. Outside of his real job, he would do side jobs in his garage, and my dad took over the side job thing while my grandpa was. He was, like I said, he was an alcoholic, and when he quit drinking and smoking, because I think he had a health scare at the time. Like, my family's a super tight on what they say, and like I grew up with one side of everything, and everything that bad happened, they just didn't say it.